Back when I used to drink, I was a second year at this time. It was winter break, and I had started hanging out with this guy who later surprisingly became my boyfriend. And you'll see why it was surprising. So we had gone out together to an ugly Christmas sweater themed party. Sounds tame, whatever, people do it all the time. But I ended up getting really drunk, making out with a girl, and then they were playing cards on the coffee table, and I just crashed right on it, and it was a big deal. So then they took me to the hospital because I was too drunk, and they were worried that I was like gonna get alcohol poisoning. So I'm supposed to be catching a train back home to make it to my sister's graduation party, and it was like an 8 a.m. train, so I woke up at 6:30 in the morning in the hospital, and I really wanted to leave, and I don't remember any of this. Like, I blacked out. So my friend, the guy who became my boyfriend, he was there at the hospital with me, like, to make sure that I'd be okay or whatever, and he was like, you can't leave because they told me that you have to stay until like you're stable, but I ended up getting up, and they made him leave, which made things worse. So then a couple nurses tried to get me back down in the bed, and I lied to them, told them I was going to the bathroom, and then I like ran towards the exit. So then the police officer had to basically like tackle me because I was being really resistant, and I ended up in jail. So then once in jail, I was in the holding cell, and I don't really remember everything, but I'm starting to like gain consciousness at this point. But I was like being wild, and I really wanted to get out. At one point, I pretended I couldn't speak English, and I was speaking in Spanish. So I ended up having to stay in that jail for about a day or something like that. And I had to call my mom from jail, and I tried to lie to her and be like, oh, I missed the bus. But I called her from some random number, obviously. So she was like, I think you're lying to me. And yeah, that's the story on how I missed my sister's graduation party, because I was in jail. I'm sober now, by the way.